ENFP struggles part 2. From an ESFP's perspective, I provide what the demon function for the ENFP does. In other words, an ENFP has the tendency, frankly, to get physical when they are very pushed up against a wall. That's the SE function. SE demon for ENFP and SE hero for the ESFP. This is why the ENFP can look up to the ESFP and why the ENFP can hate the ESFP. It seems that SE is a function that just people love. It is the here and now, the very present function, also a charming function. ESTPs have it, what makes them cool in my opinion. I combine mine with an FI, which makes me more on the emotional side. That is SE to FI for ESFP. Now, I can get complicated in this video because ENFPs, and I give myself a little bit longer for this video, right? ENFPs are NE dominant, which means that they can go all out in information. Let's get really complicated really quickly. ENFPs take it slow. They also have the desire to be on stage, to be in front of people, and the desire to disappear. These are the ones who are most likely called ambivert. They're extremely unhealthy when they hide in the shadows, become quiet and reserved. But when they're healthy, they're the biggest of the big personality. The only other NE dom is the ENTP. And everybody knows that they're the loudest person in the room, totally oblivious to what's going on, and just love spitting out facts all day long. Those are the logical ones of the ENP types. Now remember, the EP ones are chaos. We're chaos. I'm also an EP. But the ENFP, right? There's this emotional blockade that tricks in, and I mean tricks itself in, because it takes all this logic, all this information, and puts their feeling onto them. In other words, the projection of how they feel towards other people. This is why they make great campaigners. Their hype name is the campaigners, ENFP. ESFP is the entertainer. So we use that FI projection to assess our art onto you. Likewise, ENFP can do the same thing, the FI parental projection. But they do it in here's a billion million different ways in which I can do it, which can cause overload and shutdown. It's really fascinating to see it. And I've seen it with a handful of ENFPs. They get really hard on themselves and then vanish. But then they come back and they're full throttle and then vanish again. It's a very up-down world for the ENFP. Now we're just going down the stack, right? Because this stack can be very helpful if an ENFP will go into depth. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible, but the ENFP likes it, right? So the other types may not find this video as funny or hypey, because this is more of a, I'm trying to get emotional. I'm trying to help my little brother with stuff that he has told me that has helped him. He wants to be accountable, but down the road, we don't want that accountability because it's boring. It's too consistent, right? That's the TE child. The ESFP has the same function. It's 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. Oh my gosh. So bear with me here if I'm mumbling or stumbling. Anyway, any Dom, everything is just on the table. FI secondary, FI parent, projecting feelings where I should, give in to how I feel type of stuff. I'm trying to keep it light. That authenticity kicks in. Now, those two combined, I've noticed, allow the ENFP to lie. They will lie to your face. And their excuses are usually stumbly. Like they'll go, I had and they'll make up something stupid like, my car was broken down or something. No, you drove here. You drove here. Your car's fine. Like you call them out, then, but I can't because, my license plate's expired. Or I was around somebody sick today. I just don't want to get you sick. I got something going on with somebody later today. I just can't. Then these pauses, these stumbles, these, spur of the moment things that they'll say actually don't make sense. They're due to the ENFP, and then it becomes real. Again, I'm just making up these scenarios for example, but it's the get in, get out type of thing. That TE child, that third function now. It's the in and out fast thing. Like the ESFP has it too. The chemical addiction stuff, caffeine, whatever. It's an immediate pleasure. But now you've got somebody who considers all the options, projects their feelings onto you, wants in and out quickly, and then that last function is SI, which is like basically organization, memory, and the sense of duty. SI is duty, by the way. So that makes them very sloppy. Same for the ENTP, it's the same weakness. There's no sense of duty. They're also FE critics, which is the fifth function, meaning that they don't respect your position. They don't respect you. So now you've got this rebel. The ENFPs are rebels. They're creative, campaigning rebels who go against the curb to create great things on the planet. We need them. They're also the ones, in my opinion, that are on the edge of the street. They're the ones most likely to beg. They have no problem asking you for money, for things, because in their mind, it doesn't hurt you. That's another FI projection type thing. Very good at mooching, which is a form of campaigning, or they're very good at asking for money for charities and great causes. The asking for money thing is very uncomfortable for most people, but the ENFPs have no problem. No problem with it. I know an ENFP who's a campaigner for movies, an ENFP who's a campaigner for charities. They're very good in politics for causes. So you can see that they're the movers and shakers, or they can be. It's almost, because of that TE child function, black and white for the ENFP, their lives. They are gung-ho on something, or just vanish. I think I'm talking too much. This is a 5-minute video, guys. I actually have a lot of family who are ENFPs. I don't want to talk about my family, not on this channel. It's not my place to even talk about my brother, and I apologize if he's watching this. My intent is to help ENFPs from the ESFP perspective, because I know that I can rub the ENFP wrong very easily, because I'm SE Dom, which is their ultimate back up against the wall function. Like, oh my gosh, I dropped my glasses. I don't even need them, they're Blu-rays. Anyway, on top of that 7th function TI, they don't even care if they're right. I don't even care if I'm right. I have the same function. TI blind spot. The blind spot has a secondary function. It's the kind of like you don't care, or you think you're really good at it, but you're not function. Everybody's got a 7th function, but for the ESFP and the ENFP, it is the thing that you are just adamant about. Like right now, I'm doing it right now. I may not be accurate. TI is accuracy, and it is in the blind spot for us, meaning we think we're right. Like right now, I'm pretty dang sure I'm right. I've got a lot of experiences and people that I can throw names out to prove it. But otherwise, it leaves this assumption factor, meaning they're adamant about whatever it is that they're doing. Again, ESFP and ENFP, same thing for this. And we're right. And to make an ENFP or ESFP budge is very hard. We are very difficult to bulldoze. ESFPs are a lot easier to bulldoze because we'll consider other options. ENFP does that as a dominant function. That's the demon function for the ESFP. So typically we'll back off other options if you call us out. But the ENFP will be like, nope. Because that NE gets in the way. You see how this personality can compound against itself? What's fascinating is that INFJ is another one that is fascinatingly compounds against itself as well. You look at every function of the INFJ, and it is almost like you're built to fail. That's why most people that I've noticed, especially on this channel, I've been doing it for a while now, find themselves typed as INFJ, which is the golden pair for the ENFP, by the way. It's a golden pair. These two are like hand in hand, they're shadows. My mother's an INFJ, my brother's an ENFP. Golden pair. So these two are very traumatic types in that regard, right? And every type can have its trauma, but most people type themselves into being INFJ because of that. I've made many videos about that. Quiet, reserved, in your head, feeling empathy, and all of a sudden you've got these rules, and it's INFJ. ENFP, you want to be happy, you're out and about, and you've proven that to everybody. You can be loud, but all of a sudden you're quiet and nobody cares. Whoa, hang on. And you shock yourself. Ambivert kicks in. In your head, all the options are there, and your feelings kick in. ENF. And then that P function ruins everything. Now you can't be consistent. Now you can't be organized. Give me that chemical. Give me that fix. Give me that video game. Give me that fast thing. So let's talk about solutions real quick. I think we're 8 freaking minutes in. If you made it this far, then I applaud you and I'm squeezing and hugging you. Again, ESFP over here. Okay? Grain of salt. Take my words with a grain of salt. Let's talk about what has worked. If the SI can be tickled, the 4th function, if you can get that 4th function working for any personality type, you are in the most amount of pleasure you can get. You use your 1st and 4th together, you are superhuman. And you use your 5th to support that, you're in. That is, in my opinion, the fastest way to become the most healthy. Your 1st function is always going to be there. Combine that with your 5th, which is the opposite of that, right? With the ENFP, that's NI. Your path, your career path, your life path, your big picture, your vision. When you have a vision combined with other options and you keep those in check and you're organized, that's ENFP Maximus. It's amazing. It's amazing. Just remember, when you're campaigning, because that forces you to campaign now. See, now you've got options, you've got vision, and you're organized, campaigner. Just look at the other functions. It supports all that. Just remember that when you get to this point, ENFP, stay on target, but don't step on people. People may not need what you're selling, what you're campaigning for, and that's okay. That's the other thing the ENFPs tend to do when they're healthy for a while and then they step off. They have all this power now, and now they're almost forcing it down people's throats. See, now you have a whole other problem. You've overcompensated. Gosh, we might need a part 3. This is a long video, guys. It's going to max me out at 10 minutes. If you want more information, feel free to always message me. But, I have been doing private consulting. It's been fun, but I'm just a guy with an opinion. I'm a personal trainer. Discipline is kind of, a massive topic in my life. But it's Saturday, and I can go until 3 a.m. I hope this has been helpful. There's still a lot more to talk about, and maybe I can have my brother talk to you guys if I can catch him in the right mood. That's TE child, right? FI parent. Just message me or leave your comments below.